excited this afternoon. I went grocery shopping today and I found a beautiful Opuntia pad in the produce section. So I think there's some folks that will take the spines out and fry them up and eat them. I'm sure they're very nutritious, but I would prefer to enjoy it as a plant. So I'm going to treat it as a cutting and see if I can plant this up and get it to root. It was very prickly, so I told the cashier to be very careful and handle it only by the bag. I didn't want anybody to get hurt. And I've got my thickest gloves on because these are very sharp glow kids here. And it's very easy to hurt yourself if you're not wearing gloves. But as you can see here, the bottom is in very good shape for planting. It's already calloused over and closed off. So no infection should get in there. And looking at it, it is a little bit dehydrated, but many Opuntias that are planted even get dehydrated when they're in their winter dormancy. So I'm not going to worry about that. But once I plant this up, I'm going to be looking for signs that it sent out roots. And those two signs in particular that I'm going to be looking for is that this plant will plump out. The roots will draw water up into the pad and it will become plump again. The other sign that I'll be looking out for is new growth along the edge here. Once it takes root and really sets in, there could be some new pads that come off of this area, as long as it's taken root and we're successful. So anyway, I'm going to get started. I'm going to try to give it a head start by putting some rooting powder on it. And I just use Bond-Tone rooting powder. And there are many different brands, but this is quite dangerous to use. They do recommend using gloves and trying not to breathe this in. So always use gloves when you're handling any type of rooting powder. But I'm going to put it on the very bottom. Just going to sprinkle a little bit on there and kind of rub it on here. I'm going to put it around some of the lower glow kits as well, because that is where some of the roots can come out of. So I'm just going to spread that around on the bottom of the plant. This will also prevent any bacterial issues as well. Just try to get that onto some of those glow kits there. Do the same thing on the other side. And then just a little bit over here. It would probably root on its own once it's in soil, has a little bit of warm weather. But this just kind of gives it a head start. So I've put plenty of rooting hormone on there. And I am going to set it into my pot. So I have some cactus and succulent mix. Say that 3 times fast. But anyway, let's put it in here. I'm going to bury the bottom part of it, maybe the bottom 1/3. And it's cactus and succulent mix mixed with some vermiculite. So I'm going to add some more around the sides. I'm just going to kind of prop it up with some more soil. You do want it far enough down that the soil around it's going to hold it up. But you want to have some space underneath the pad so that it has an area to send down roots. And I'm going to try not to disturb the rooting powder, the rooting hormone powder too much, because I really do want that to stay up against the plant and encourage rooting. So I'm going to add quite a bit. Once I do water that, and that won't be for a month or two, maybe up to 2 months. You don't want to water this until you have some signs that there are roots to take up the water, because if there's no roots to take up the water, the pad will just be sitting in a moist medium, and that will promote rotting. So That is the biggest danger with cuttings, is that they will rot before they have a chance to take root. And there you go. Now it's a little bit floppy. Like I said, once it sends out roots, which I hope it does, it's gonna go ahead and fill out. And that is an adorable plant. And wish me luck, guys. I'm really hoping for a nice new Opuntia plant. And Opuntia are some of my favorite. They are very easy to grow. And if this hasn't been too beaten up as a grocery store item, hopefully it's gonna like its new soil and send out roots. So there you go, guys. Easy as that. Found in the produce section at the supermarket. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be sure to give you an update, good or bad, in about a month. I'll let you know how things are going, and I think it's going to send out roots once I put things out for the spring and it feels some warm weather and I start to water it a little bit later on. It's probably going to be very happy. So thanks for tuning in.